Welcome everybody to Transport Fever. I love this game, and my review, it was a first look thing of the Mashinsky game that was coming out. It kind of got this game back in my head, especially since I referenced it a couple times. So let's just show you what a game looks like here. The USA maps are all like in the desert, and then the Europe maps are all green. And so part of the problem is I like playing on the USA map, so I typically go over here to custom. Oh boy, I forget which one. Is it terrain or is it environment? I forget which one is the ugly brown. I guess we can do both of them set to European, and I think we'll still be fine. So let's do that. We're not playing with any mods. We'll hit save. I like to play on hilly. That's also another thing that makes it really hard on hard mode. I'll get into that as I, start the end. And I like to play from 1850 as well. So let's just, I don't know. Let's put in a seed here like The Sim Station. Okay, there we go. That is, just in case you want to play on the same map as me, you have to have, see, I don't think hard or the year matters, but you do have to have the 1 to 3 and large, and I believe hilly as well. And then you can put in this same seed, and you will get the exact same map that I am playing with. Anyway, as you start out on hard, it is very hard, and one screw up can totally wreck your game. I think I want to give the Mashinsky another look because I keep thinking about it, and I don't know what it is about the game, but I keep thinking about it and dreaming about it, and I really do want to go back there and give it another shot when I play. But I think you'll be able to see when I talk about the construction, like, look at it, this is pretty, this is beautiful. And I hate going into construction mode that takes away this beautiful scenery. Like, I'll just real quick drag out some rails. You can do it all from this view, and it's beautiful, and that's what I like. So, I did notice real quick, the Mashinsky game, so Transport Fever has an ugly edge. I don't know, it was a design decision. It's kind of the edge of the world, literally, and this is the only towns in the entire world. I guess maybe if you have more imagination, you can imagine it going off there, but it's just, I don't know, it's playing next to the map edge looks really ugly, and you typically have to face the camera there to the inside so you don't see that ugliness. But anyway, so the very beginning of the game on hard, you have to pick something, especially if you make it challenging and play it on hilly like I like to do. You look for really flat spots. So if you get down here on the topographical view, this will help you select a few splats. Yeah, that's not even, that's pretty hilly. So we probably wouldn't want that. I'm looking for, see, I could do that, but even that's fairly hilly, and then building bridges cost a lot of money. What else could I do? I'm looking for a passenger line. I've had the best success with passenger lines. Basically anything takes a while to ramp up. This game does have a very active map where towns will grow based on how you supply them with goods. You can look in here with, the different districts, and you can click on a town to see the more precise details. But basically every town has the same demands, and then they're based on the population. Maybe these two. So Concord and what is that? Oh boy, I hate names I can't pronounce. Let's change this name to Peoria. Peoria, Illinois to Concord. I think that might be a decent shot. It doesn't look like, maybe if I keep it on this side, I can miss the hills there and kind of take a straight shot. Yeah, look at that. That is pretty, I mean, that's within, what, 10 meters? So let's, this game does have a nice little soundtrack. So let's turn it on just slightly. Okay. Really small background music there. Alright. So I'm looking for somewhere close to residential. It'd be great to get in there further so I can minimize. You know what? Let's do there. No. Well, you know what? The topographical map. I think that's not. See there, I'm getting kind of up in the hills. That's not that much though. This is. I think this is a little bit more. don't know if I connect those. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I think you'll see. No, I want this as short as possible. Okay, so we're going to do it right here. And we're going to connect to... Oh, look at that. I can do it without destroying a building. That's great. I thought I was going to have to destroy a building. One thing to note is, as the town builds up around you, you might want to consider, if this is your... You know what? This is kind of an edge town, so I'll only do one station. No, let's do 2. And then let's do it 240. I kind of like to build for the future, because if you don't, and you have to come back and destroy houses once the property value goes up, it costs millions to build and edit a station. So I like to build a little bit for the future. Let's, yeah, slightly there. We could actually do, you know what, if this is we could actually do a terminal station, because I think we might kind of end here. So I can connect the road there, and then this is kind of heading out basically where I want it to. All right, should we do it there? Right there? Look at that. I mean, that's a difference of 300,000. So let's do there. And then now we just pray. I probably should have built the road first. Sometimes if it stretches weird and you have to accidentally destroy a house based on where you build a station. So generally it's better to build the road first. But now we can click on that and we can see we are connected to this part of town. Okay, so let's set up our passenger loop first. So we got a bus stop. And let's set up with, ideally, I guess, you know, it'd be good to have a counterclockwise and a clockwise loop. But starting out, let's just do a counterclockwise loop. Which one's closer to, yeah, that way they don't have to cross the street. There or there. Let's do it right there. So that is one stop. And then, let's see, so that can service there. And then we'll go, let's see, where should we stop? Actually, I don't think we need to stop again on this side. Yeah, so we're going to go over here. We're going to stop right into, that was just an autosave. It'll do that every year in case you saw that slowdown. Let's do a stop right there. And then we're going to get on in and let's do another stop. That should cover us right there. Okay, so if you guys like this game, check out a guy named Colonel Failure. He is a really good, he's awesome at doing Transport Fever. He's got a lot of Let's Plays over there. I don't know him personally. He's actually the one that got me into this game, watching his YouTube series. So if you love this Let's Play, I would check out his YouTube channel. Okay, so I'll finish that. Peoria, C-O-M-M-U-T-E-R. I believe that's what he calls his commuters. Our little passenger lines in the city. Whoops, and we finished. We forgot to set that up. So by default, when you click on it, if there's no stop, it'll highlight that. Let's start there, and then click there, and then there. So we only have 3 bus stops, and then if you've never played a type of game like this, it'll automatically loop back to the first route. So let's continue our train line. Before we finish building it, let's take a look at Concord over here. And it actually looks a little bit better set up. We're going to want some kind of a through station here, because this is going to be our main epicenter of a hub. But this is going to be a horrible design. We're going to have to try to go right through the town. But yeah, just to give you an idea, like if I put a station looping coming in here so it could connect to other parts of the world, look at this. That would cost $800,000. And the property values aren't even that high. And some of that's industrial. I don't know what to do about this. Ideally, we would build our train station on this side of town, but with this hill, that would be either impossible or a fortune. Every time you have to add dirt, so basically when you level something out, look at that. 300,000 to place it up there. 700,000 right there. $1 million. That's a lot of dirt moving. As opposed to down here on flat ground, 200,000. Here's the smart thing to do. Just go here. Worry about the rest later. I think that's the really only way I can get through the town. So if I do, I don't even want to destroy a building right now though. So that's really the only way I can get through town. I think right there. And 100. Just so you know, if you are unfamiliar with this game and want to give it a try, it'll automatically kind of lock in place next to roads, you know, and other railroad tracks. if you don't want that, all you have to do is press and hold the shift button, and then it will basically ignore those roads and try to build them straight like they aren't there. Also, on a train track, you can press M and N to either lower or raise to try to build a bridge. And yeah, but we can cover that in more detail later. Right now, should I do it? I think, you know what? I think, okay, we're paused. We have 10 million. In the grand scheme of things, 1 million shouldn't sink us if we are doing this right. So we'll do that. And then kind of have it. We're going to be going, let's see, the main rail line. We want to get it away from town to save on money in the future. So let's just do something like, let's just do something right there to the edge, because then we might want to stay kind of elevated if we end up going over the river. So let's just leave that. And now they can build all around that, and we still have tracks there coming into our rail station. Okay. Now, we have to do something very similar, where it is building a street there. And so that way we can kind of have a loop. Oh boy, but how... I guess we're going to have to go right there. Oh, goodness, that's too... We go straight. There we go. And then down. I guess that wasn't really that much cheaper, but... oh, you know what? Darn it, we didn't have to do that. All we had to do was... I was just trying to make it easy for the buggies to get turned around, but we could do this. So this is close enough so it'll be service. So that's all we have to do. And now let's place a few more tram stops. I mean bus stations, not trams. It can double as trams if you have tram tracks, but we do not. So let's just do a clockwise loop again. So we want to service the downtown area for kind of shopping, and then I guess let's just make this a big ugly loop. We'll do one there. And then this will kind of be wasted time. We can add a stop there if people build there in the future. But then I think one stop kind of right there. And so it'll be a 4-station loop. And this is Concord. So let's do a new line. Let's do the first line in the city is... was it the darker color? I think it was the darker color. There we go. So this will be Concord and commuter. And we can add clockwise CCW and CW later as we get 2 different lines going in 2 different directions. So let's do that, and that. So it'll be a little wasted time there, but in the long scheme of things, it won't matter. Now, in order to buy things, we need to place a depot. And let's just put it right... well... No, we want people to... You know what? Let's put it a little out of the way. We want people to use and to build as close as possible over there. So let's just put it on this end of town. Whoops. I accidentally hit the delete key. So we want a road depot. So let's do 10,000 right there. And let's get a couple of these going. Road vehicle, we want horse carriage. Yep, so this is passengers. That is the cargo they are transporting. And so let's do one for each stop, maybe 3. Let's do 4. Let's do 4. 1 for each stop, yeah. So then Concord commuter, and now that'll get going as soon as we unpause. Let's go back over here, and we need to do something similar. Okay, so by road vehicles, I think this one only had 3 stops. It's a little bit more efficient, so let's do 1, 2, 3. Set line all Peoria commuter. Okay, so we can escape. I pressed escape to exit out of those tabs in case you were not familiar. Okay, so now we need to lay some track, and track is very expensive. So if you look at that, that's already 200,000. It's because by default, they'll go based on running the train as straight as possible, which means as fast as possible. So it has these nice sweeping curves, but that also means building up a lot of train. If you want to take it a little bit slower and cheaper, look at that. See, yeah, I can't get in there too far, but so right there, about the same distance, it's only roughly, what is that, 70 plus, so it's like not even 100,000 versus it was going to be like 200,000 up here. So if you do it in little short chunks like that, then it's a little bit better. And let's see, if I remember correctly, yeah, it's going to swoop out that way. So let's gradually go downhill here. So we'll take a nice gradual curve before that contour line and try to save us some money. It's 14 grand. And yeah, see, I didn't quite get down there fast enough, so 60,000 isn't too bad though. And so now we want to stay on this contour line, kind of this path. We want to go, I guess 100,000 to there. Yeah, that's a little bit too expensive. So let's do 30,000 to there and then kind of skip on that big 100,000 bill. Yeah, see, there you go again. So the same length, it's like 40,000 with a little bit extra slope. They make it so expensive if you do it in long gaps at a time. So we want to have a nice sweeping curve. So maybe one more, and then let's try to sweep on in there. And which side do we want? I think we want this side if we are saying, you know what? The inside is probably going to connect to, say, Fargo. So let's, I think the best thing to do would actually be going on the inside. There we go. So then we have the outside ready to connect. Oh, no, see, that's way too expensive. Let's just do it gradual then. But we still want the same sweeping curve, so let's do, I think, about there. If you notice when you stretch it, you'll see this, those numbers go down. That's the max speed a train can go around the bend. And there we go. See, 74. I didn't do it right. It doesn't really matter for these early trains, but later in the game it will matter. Let's tear up a little bit. Let's tear up a little bit of track here. Want it a little bit more sweeping than that. So 100. Well, you know what? I take it back. That's, I mean, I don't think anything's going to be going straight through there. So 74, you know, in the future, if it has to slow down to that speed to stop at a station a few moments later, that'll be just fine. And then I think that will be good. So now we have just to set up the line there. So add, and then I like to do green. Let's start from the bottom on passengers. So this will be pass, and then Peoria to Concord. And that's just the way that I like to name them, so that way it keeps everything organized in the line manager. The cities, the individual city line, the city comes first, and then for trains, I typically do like pass or freight, and then based on, or like raw if it's unrefined materials. But anyway, that is kind of my naming scheme. So we need to add the line. So let's start at, where do we want to put the depot? Let's start at this end, and we'll go over to here. Okay, so now we need to make a depot. So trains, and then depot, let's build it. Oh, you know what? We should have started on the other side. This is a little bit hilly. It can get a little bit pricey to make depots, especially if you are going to try to do it nice. I like to do it so, let's see, far enough away. So I think that's far enough away. What I'm attempting to do is I really want the train to be able to go into the depot from both ways. So let's hit that, and let's grab maybe somewhere right there and see if we can't hit, oh boy, yeah, see, this is part of the problem. Too much slope. Okay, well that's gonna be, well, that's only 50,000, so that's not bad. And then let's make sure the curves are proper. Sometimes, yeah, it does a pretty good job, but sometimes if you don't notice, you know, you're kind of dragging right next to instead of on top of to create a, you know, kind of a switching cross. So that's what I was just zooming in to make sure of. All right, so now we have that line built. We can get our first train in. If you look at our finances, we have 8 million. So that is not too bad for laying down construction. So the total construction cost was, you know, almost 2 million, which I mean, it was relatively flat, and that's why you want it relatively flat. If it was any more hilly, can you imagine how much money that would have been? So let's start here with a Baldwin 6 wheels. I love the little history they give with each one. Let's start with 3. I don't want to start with, is 2 enough? Each one 14. 2 might be enough. That's a lot of upkeep for each one at the early game. And we can always, you know what, this is kind of relatively convenient, and I think 3 would slow us down too much, and it's just going to be dead weight at the beginning anyway. It takes a little while to ramp up. Basically, I mean, it kind of makes sense. We'll hit play here. All right, let's get a shot of our train pulling on out. So you can hit that little cursor button to focus on a train. Look at you go. You are a beauty. That would certainly be for a hot summer. Standing out in the open behind the heat. Well, but then again, the wind's blowing in your face at least, I guess. So, I don't know. Maybe it's not too bad. Here we go. Pulling into our first station. Okay, so like I said, the game takes a little while to ramp up. Peoria, the terminal here, it has currently 0 passengers waiting. And, you know, I mean, that makes sense because, yes, okay, it is a few days that has passed since, but basically the game moves a little bit slower than the clock, where, you know, it takes a while for people to get word out. Like, for example, right now we got our first passenger, and it's just because it takes a little while for word to get out, for the passengers to actually get to the station, and then, you know, if they're riding the little stagecoach over here, then that takes even longer. So I don't doubt we will have passengers in no time. So I think that right now I am going to probably speed up. I'll probably key you in after we either start making some money, or I'm going to look around the map a little bit and try to discover another opportunity. So I will meet you guys on the other side. Okay, I'm looking at some industries. An early industry that is good, you want to do simplicity, because the ones that take multiple, so for example, construction materials, well, that one's relatively simple. You haul stone or slag here, and then it builds construction materials. You haul construction materials here. So that one's relatively simple. But another one, like, so for example, this one's a little bit more complicated because you have to have planks and plastics, or planks and steel, and then that gives you goods, which are sold at the commercial centers. However, the problem with that is planks require an intermediate step where you need to find wood and then a sawmill. And then for plastics, you need to, where's the plastic? So yeah, right there, it requires grain or oil to make plastics. And then, or you can get steel, which steel is iron ore and coal, right? To heat the furnaces to make it into some kind of a steel. I don't know. The point is you want to look for simplicity, and we kind of run into a problem where grain and livestock I can get here. That's a good chain to get to a food processing plant and then deliver that to cities. That is one of the better early ones. It's simple and it's very profitable once it gets up and running, but the problem is that is so far away from my main cities down here, and I already have passenger transport going between these two cities. It'd be great if I could deliver some goods here to generate more demand in Peoria that they would want to come over in Concord and shop, as well as all these other cities. I kind of want to make Concord my hub, so I guess I could do that. I could still do that, but that would take a while to get going. For right now, let's take a look at our train. This is one of the great things about this game. Granted, Mashinsky was not completed, but you can look and see your finances. You can see the individual profit on a vehicle. You can see the profit on an actual line. So here is the passenger line from Peoria to Concord. Right now, that is our average profit. And then you can also click here, and it'll give you a detail of your overall company profit for the year. So our running costs are $102,000, and our income this year is $155,000. So yeah, that's yeah, we're still in the red from loan interest. And I kind of lied about loan interest because I was playing on easy. Yeah, the loan interest is a little bit cheaper on easy. I was actually making the huge mistake of having that ridiculously high loan when I wasn't using it, so that was really stupid. That's the only reason why I was in the red. Otherwise, I would have actually made a tiny little profit there. So let's see what it is. It is almost the end of the year. Let's see if I'm in the green. If I'm not, I'm going to have to... I don't know. Let's just wait until December to see what happens. And we are, oh boy. So the loan interest wasn't the end of the world. 255. Oh, that's right. It accrues every month, not at the end of the year. Oh, maybe that was on easy. I forget. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It is every month. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe it's only at the end of the year on easy. Anyway, I think that one of the things we need to do is send you back to the depot, because it looks like every time you are hauling a full load of passengers, so we need about one more car on there, and it's relatively flat, so you can still move top speed. To make you even more profitable, I think that we need to add another car there. I don't think a whole nother train. It is a really long route for these short trains, but I think adding a double train sharing the track would be not as profitable. But if we send you to the depot now, all those passengers go away, but I still think that's what we need to do. Okay, so you are going to the depot. Okay, we are back in the depot. I want to pause so that we don't waste any more time. We'll click on buy trains. And should I add one or two more cars? I'm afraid two might weight you down too much. Oh, that's right. We got to take out a loan. So let's borrow $1 million. Let's buy... We want to buy two of you. Let's buy two. I think it'll be a little bit slower, but I think it won't be long. What? See? Okay, so... Why aren't you... Why isn't that line showing up? Oh, was it hidden? Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's on show visible. That's a new feature. That's a new feature. Look at that. It shows the line when it's visible. That must have been on a patch. And then since it's not in the screen, oh, that is brilliant. Okay, so we are going to do that. I like that feature. Okay. So let's repay what we can, and let's unpause and send you on your way, which should be to this station, I think. 21 passengers waiting. And let's see how long it takes you. You're probably not going to get up to full speed by the time you get to the station. You can haul 56 passengers. I might have gone a little overkill with that. I don't know. I hope not. Looks like I can... What is that? 7... I don't know. Yeah, that's not a lot of money. Let's just keep that open. We can dock that in a corner. I typically have, since I play on pretty good resolution and my monitor is huge, I actually don't know how it's going to look to the average viewer, but I typically like to keep things open and kind of docked off to the side. So let me know if that's a problem. But I mean, I actually don't know if this is even going to be a let's play. So you'll have to let me know if you want to see more of this game and series. For right now, I think we're going to work over here. Let's see, how much do we have on our loan? We got 6 million. I think we can set this up for that price. It's fairly flat. We're gonna have to get around Fargo with the trains. I think maybe if we cross on the riverside there. Oh, but it's on this side. Okay, well. Actually, let's call this an episode. It's kind of running long, and we don't really know how this map is going to turn out. I don't think this will be a Let's Play, but it'll definitely be at least a couple episodes here. So we'll just cut this episode short, and then we will resume another time with the rest of this episode, continuing to build this other line and trying to grow our fortune. All right, guys. See you later.